Mike came back to San Diego, where he has grown up and lived his whole life, as have his five siblings, because his mother had taken, I think, maybe a fall or then a difficult turn. I don't think that's as important. Um, and was here to attend to her. Well, perfectly. And Patricia is Mike's mom's name, was 96 years old. And Patricia died on Sunday afternoon, about 4 o'clock. And I had the good fortune both to sit with Mike on Saturday, we all did, and then to talk with Mike a little bit on Sunday because he came back to get his stick. And one of the things we talked about that I think is so important is that we honor the dying and that we honor the dead in their traditions, in their way, with their language, their imagery, right? Not that we now, because we have read this book and before this have read the book, the Tibetan book of death, that we somehow think, I'm going to read that. And that's going to be meaningful for the person. The reality is, and then I spoke with Mike about this, and one of the things I was talking with him about was playing his guitar, which Mike has done since his teen years, if not before, that he get his guitar and that he play that for her. And if he was so inclined, then he might sing a little bit for her, with her. And he happened to have decided to do that on Sunday before she died. By the way, her death was very surprising to everyone because just the day before she had sat up by herself and said, I want something to eat. We have to be careful also, I think, that we don't now read a book and think we know something. Boy, how dangerous would that be? That now we believe we've got some understanding that's greater than the mystery about death, about that person in the dying process, and about what would be of benefit to them without what? Deep inquiry. And so I said to Mike, well, he was telling me a little story about Patricia. We're going to be reading something for her this morning. He was saying, she was a devout Catholic and really was pissed off about the fact that my two sisters had taken a slightly Buddhist view of things. And I suspect not only pissed off, I'm actually suspecting afraid for them, right? Don't you? That if you had these core beliefs and then now somebody's saying some words called, karma or Toradol, or you're going, what? You're going to hell. And she was concerned about that. And so then wouldn't it be crazy for us to then read from the Tibetan book? A bad joke, right? A truly bad joke. How dare you? Right? Here's a woman who had a lifetime devoted to a path and to a faith. And here come these whole bunch of people who don't know her, thinking, oh, I can fix this. I'll send her through the Bardos. I'm afraid to say the word because I know Patricia's listening, right? With these readings from the book. Bad idea. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. And can't you be more flexible? You can. Can't you be more compassionate? You can. Can't you grab a rosary? If there's one in the vicinity, you could. Or a prayer that we're going to read today, or just thoughts, supporting the person in their faith, in their tradition, in their way, right? Wouldn't this be love? Wouldn't it be? That would be love. And to get over somebody with some kind of holy water, if they're not, how offensive, right? To offer last rites to somebody who doesn't even know what it means, or doesn't have any appreciation or understanding. Remember in the book when we talked about Pema saying, a gentleman she had talked to said, I don't have a faith. Maybe I'll just picture Easter bunnies or little beautiful bunnies or something. And what she said was, nice idea, but unless you've really thought about these cute little bunnies every day, they're probably not going to be supportive then either. Is this true? Do you understand what I'm saying about this? Right. And so we have to be watchful, don't we, then, about imposing view, imposing perspective, imposing an idea of what's right on top of somebody who now is in the most vulnerable position of their lifetimes and really potentially causing some kind of harm. Do we understand? Does everybody get what I'm saying? So though we're reading this, and I love that we are because I love perspective, I love the inquiry into what is the same and what is different, right? All this is valuable. And where these teachings originated from, that's, I think, beautiful and wonderful. But to then impose that very perspective or that very view on top of someone would be heinous, wouldn't it? And so we are not going to. We're going to do something that's going to help Patricia and be of support to Patricia as she transitions. So I'm going to go read chat and then we're going to read the prayer. What is the name of the book? It's called Why We Meditate. Why We Meditate by Daniel Goleman and Dzongkhani Rinpoche. And it only currently in hardcover, but will be coming out in paperback, but not probably till we will have started it. So you might want to try a Kindle version or something. Robin, thank you, Robin, sending comfort and ease to Patricia, Mike, and all their family. Thank you. We're going to be calling Patricia and Mike by name today. That's important. So any statements or questions before we go ahead and read the Lord's Prayer? Most of you will know the Lord's Prayer simply by virtue of our consensus.
Forget St. Andrews.
St. Andrews, thank you. We are doing St. Andrews food pickup. I will be putting out a newsletter with a link for where to send money because most people are seeming not to want to do as much shopping as they are wanting to just offer us money to go shopping, which we now do at Dollar Tree and pick up all the protein we can find there. And we will be doing that by next Tuesday. Shopping day will be Monday or Tuesday of next week, and then delivery on Wednesday. If anybody would like to participate beyond the offering, please let us know. We could always use you. There's some pretty heavy boxes with stuff in it to carry, which is wonderful. I'm going to go see if I can't find share here. No, I'm hitting more, but I'm not getting it. So let me hang on a minute, see if I can't find our way to this. Okay, so the Lord's Prayer, you know, one of the certainly iconoclastic prayers in the Christian tradition. We're going to be reciting this version for Patricia Shook, Mike Shook's mom, and their family. And we're going to do that as we prepare to sit silently. I will not be ringing the bell either. Patricia, probably not so much into that. And so as we prepare to sit. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Thank you for all of those who were reciting it with us. Thank you. Beautiful. And then we are simply going to begin sitting, and I will move into the practices after a 15-minute silent sit. Calling Patricia by name and sending her then all the warmth, all the peace, all the joy, all the wisdom, compassion, and ease to transition from this life into the heavenly realm. May she be accompanied by all those angels. And may we then call those others to mind. Maybe someone who is ill or recovering. Someone is going through a particular challenge or difficulty. Maybe someone who has recently passed. And then calling them too by name. And you could call their name out loud, sending it not only as a thought, but into the earthly realm as a reality. Carrie Ann, those friends, those loved ones, maybe even those we barely know. May we offer these same blessings to them. May they have peace and well-being. May they be free from affliction. May these prayers and blessings offer them whatever support is needed. And then we breathe into our own heart space, activating the heart of bodhicitta, the awakened heart mind, the one that is all love, all care, all kindness, all compassion. And we touch into that heart, a light touch. And with the out breath, then we breathe it out, not keeping it for ourselves. This is the first act of generosity that we think, call to mind, and then offer our own good hearts to the well-being, to the benefit, and to the care of others. we can remember also to offer these very same blessings to ourselves, particularly for us in times of doubt or confusion, moments of reactivity. Maybe simply moments of living this human life. In the wholehearted truth of its vulnerability and its resilience. And so we touch into the good heart. We're going to do the three key practices. We touch into the good heart with the in breath, making real contact, that physical, felt, and immediate sense of breathing in, feeling it fully on the in breath. And then we simply let go. We breathe out, releasing not only the heart, but the whole of the mind, the whole body, just breathing out into open space. And we rest there. We rest in the bardo. Vast, open, empty space. And we let the awakened heart mind take the shape of that boundlessness. And then we touch into the human heart, the heart of basic goodness, the capacity for our own loving nature. We remember our own goodness. And we offer it once again with the out breath. We dissolve any sense of separation. We become the open space itself. And that very opening, that very widening, expanding, that very holding, because we're not just in open space, we're holding all that abides within it. All peoples, all things, all plants, all animals. And we send blessings. May you be happy and have the causes for happiness. You are the Alka-Seltzer. You are the good medicine being distributed with each out breath. Hold nothing back. Placing the mind in this spaciousness and filling it with goodness. Transforms you in the whole of the world. And with this goodness, we can then turn towards the difficult, the challenging, the pain, the fear, whatever is obstructing this goodness. And so, calling one of these moments to mind, if for yourself or for another, but we're resting in that goodness, then placing the attention on purpose towards a difficulty. And it's difficult for you because, in some way, you have shut down. This isn't because this is difficult in general, it may be a sadness, a grief, a fear. Remember, these alone are not the challenges, it is our ultimate resistance to the truth of them. And that's why this turning towards and holding is so important. And we just simply turn towards that challenge and we breathe it in. And the Tibetans use visualization, and so it's frequently pictured as a dark smoke, a hot burning um, ember. We willingly turn towards and breathe in. And as it's touching our own willing heart, it is immediately transformed into a steam, a white, glowing, vaporous light. And we send then with the outbreath that light, that vapor, that mist to ourselves. We can cover ourselves in that mist. We can cover ourselves and another. But in becoming that light ourselves, we have complete authority for its direction. I like to breathe it in for a few moments, just remembering that this capacity, this true nature, this goodness is my real identity. My true nature. And in becoming that radiant beam of light, then that basic goodness, that essential true nature, Buddha nature, Christ nature. We then can direct that goodness wherever it's needed. And to believe we are otherwise would be a shame. And so with the out breath, we distribute it through our own mind, body, and in its time, in right measure, we send it out. We can send it to Patricia, to our loved ones, to those in need. May we all have happiness, true happiness, and the causes for happiness. May we all be free from suffering, from afflictions, addictions. And may we be free of its causes. May we remember our blessings. Rejoice and be glad. And wish blessings for others. And may we rest and dwell in that vast, open, infinite space, the boundless, awakened heart mind. And may we breathe it in. And may we send it out. Until all beings are awake and happy and free. And may this practice, this very morning, may it contribute to the end of suffering. And may it realize true happiness and peace. So be it. I will now strike the bell. Take a moment, make any adjustments. Tanya, I don't know if it's your computer or not. I could have dropped my voice. That's always a possibility. Sorry that you couldn't hear. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's okay. I just put the phone a little closer to my ear. So I don't know. My phone's been acting strangely, but thank you so much.
Yeah, sorry about that, but I'm guessing you got the idea, even if you didn't hear all the words. And I just want to stop for a moment and write in chat, if you would, what is the impact of these practices just right now for you? What's the impact? How are things right now for you, based on our sitting, based on our prayer, based on our Tonglen practice? What's the experience for you? Libby's sitting right here, so I can turn right to her. And
I'm still just always amazed by the instant relief when I attend and when I offer myself that pained self, the angry self. It, for me, it has always been literally instant. That as soon as I go to that really tight ball in my chest, the moment I give it love and allow it to be, it just instantly just dissipates. It's
Yes.
just always still just like, okay, why am I not doing this every time?
every breath. Could everybody hear Libby? Could you hear her? She's, yeah, instant relief. Really a transformation over and over that she experiences when she finally drops into that pained heart, that gripped chest, and how quickly, how immediately it is ultimately transformed, and how easily we forget. Isn't it? Like, why? And then said, why am I not doing this every breath? Yeah, well, there it is, isn't it? The key question. Let's read what we have to say here in chat. Denise, I've got Denise, let me see. Grounding. Robin says, yes, of course, making us bigger than just this tight ball. We become a part of the essential ground, it's called, of being. Dennis says, empty and open. Yes, all that has obstructed, right? All the obstacle, all the contractedness, like Libby is saying, is vapor and falls away when we remember who we really are. Denise says, returning to the breath while letting go of constant and distracting thoughts. Yes, the thoughts are always there, as we know, and are really not the problem. The problem is our attachment to them. Thoughts are just like clouds in the sky, right? No problem until we grip. And we grip in two ways, then, don't we, Denise? Two. One is, I don't want this thought. Now we have made it solid. Or I want a different thought. Or I don't want a thought at all. I want to rest in some kind of, right? And we start problems for ourselves in any of those areas called wanting, and then wanting something else. And so we just keep noticing that wanting nature and softening and letting it turn into the fine mist itself, not making it solid, permanent, fixed, or me, right? Those are the instructions, not making it solid, permanent, fixed, or me. A thought is nothing but vapor also. We don't even have to work that hard to get rid of them. We just let them appear and disappear like clouds in the sky, not getting in our real way. Megan says, working through a tough issue, but using multiple parts of myself to heal self. I thought the idea of the black smoke and the changing to steam and sending it out to the vastness. I thought the idea of the black smoke and the changing to steam and sending it out in the vastness. My guess is you either found that that was working or not working for you. Yeah, it really is the truth. And just like Denise is saying, really the thought itself, just like the obstruction itself, just like the murderous thought, the cranky mood, these are simply impermanent objects. It is our gripping into them, identifying with them, resisting, which makes more real, more solid. That is really where all the problem begins. And can we cultivate then that friendly, loving, kind, present relationship by literally just letting it in? Like, we don't even have to, let's like not fight, right? Let's forget about it. Just let's breathe it in, be with it, let it have the impact it has. It's not always pleasant, right? That would be a lie. To say, and then it felt good, but the very lessened resistance to it is really an essential part of the path. Essential part of the path. And so we just keep doing it. Even when we feel choky or challenged or it's not going the way we want, we stay. We stay with whatever is there. And because in the staying, we see actually where our confusion was. Our confusion was, I have to get rid of this in order to be okay. No, you don't. It's not true. It is simply not true. You're not going to get rid of anything. Forget about it. Can I form loving, kind, open, receptive relationship to this very stuck knee? Well, this is the beginning of healing. Now, it doesn't matter then anymore how my knee is, does it? Then the knee's not the issue. The relationship to it is. And we have to be careful because we keep making life and the objects in it, or those things in us and those particular momentary, the problem. It is not. There is no thing that is your problem. And the way you hold that thing is everything. Isn't it? The way you hold that thing is everything. Grief, anger, rage. Okay, well, human so far. But then, yeah, I gotta be, you gotta be, it's gotta be different. This is the beginning of the struggle. Thank you, Megan. Lynn, opening to myself and to others. Yes, right, because we are no longer in that solid, fixated, stuck place. We have opened by the very Tonglen practice. And that's why Trungpa himself said, breathe out and keep going. That was his instruction. Isn't that cute? Breathe out, keep going. Like, don't come back here. This is not that handy. Just keep expanding because actually that's all you're capable of. So let's rest in that for a moment. That's actually all you're capable of. Everything else is delusion. That you thought you came back to you is the joke. Why am I saying that? That you thought you came back to you because you aren't that anymore. You are now this and this arising. So when people go, I just kept breathing it in and it just kept being horrible. And I went, what stayed the same? Only the fixated mind. That's it. There's nothing else possible. Do you get what I'm saying? The mind gets stuck. Life doesn't get stuck. The flow isn't stuck. The true nature of you is not stuck. That's not possible. But your perception about it got stuck because you went that. And you made that real. And then you made this fixed. And now we got this and that. And now we're embattled. Like that's got to go. And this has got to stay. And you got to be. And right. And now we've got war, don't we? This is the beginning of all wars. The thising and the thating that we do. Moving from narrowing to opening and expanding. Yes, our true nature. That's right. Can we remember this is it? And every other moment is a myth. Every other moment is an illusion. And then you just kind of laugh at it. You laugh at it a little bit. You can develop a little sense of humor. You can get a little lighter. You don't have to be so because you don't have to buy in to this as me. You can laugh. I feel calmer and less reactive, don't we? Always with consistency. Peaceful, but also aware of the stories that block this from always being available. Well, this is Vipassana. It's required to see it so we can release it and not fixate and identify with it. If you don't know those stories, you're going to tend to buy into them as truths. We have to look at the storylines pretty actively so that we can recognize the non-truth nature, the non-permanent nature, the non-self nature of them. They're just stories. Now, often stories we like, even when we hate them. Right. Even when we hate them. We're very familiar, aren't we, with these stories? Why am I in the court with 8-year-olds? Why not? Well, choice making or habit, one of those. So either you're just used to doing it, so you keep doing it, would not be so skillful, or you love doing it because there's something you can contribute, which why not? Then picking weeds, teaching children tennis, opening a can of beans becomes a sacred act, doesn't it? Now it's truly sacred. I brought my whole self to this. I'm learning how to cook that way. I'm learning how to cook that way. Just because it's a beautiful offering with beautiful ingredients that the earth has offered us, right? And then I don't care how it comes out so much, even just the being with them, right? The chopping and I have not created enough space in my life for that, and I'm learning how to. I'm guessing that food is more nourishing. I'm guessing, wouldn't you? That the loving kindness is already in it. right? The true joy is in it. The appreciation and gratitude is already in it. And then how could it not continue? Would be also true. And then it doesn't matter what it is. Does it? Could be a bologna sandwich. And just as delight. Okay, let's see if we can't get to, I got little man in my lap here, so let me share. There's our best meditator. He goes flat with the bell and he jumps up with the 3 bell. Just, he's the best and doesn't move. There's not anything going on. He's like, I'm checked out. I just right there. So we're going to go to Kindle. So everybody get your books out if you have them. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have to do a little funky thing. So I've got to narrow us for a minute so I can find the Kindle. It keeps disappearing from my screen. While I'm looking for Kindle, I'd love to hear how reciting that prayer was. How did that feel for you? Your tradition or not your tradition is not really my point. Everybody knows the Lord's Prayer, whether it's within your tradition or not. How did that feel for you? You can write that in or come on. I'm curious.
So I grew up in the Catholic religion and stayed with it till I was probably 16. So it's been a long time since I've read or seen or heard that prayer without my mind just going into automatic, well, everything it goes into when I think about my Catholic upbringing, and which some good, some not so good. And but today I intentionally made the effort to really like see every word in a new way.
Yes.
And you know, and it gave me some thoughts. My mother is still a devout Catholic. She's going to be 93 in a couple of months. And I do try to, like when I'm in Philadelphia with her, I try to go to church with her. And if she's up to going to church and doing things, sometimes she just opts to listen to midnight mass on TV. And I feel like, I don't know, somehow it opened up in me that, but also while I'm there, I will talk about my understanding from a Buddhist perspective, and she'll see me sitting. And sometimes she'll ask me questions. She's not as afraid of it as she was like 30 years ago. So, but I think when I go, I'll be going in a couple of months. When I go, I'm going to like maybe say the rosary while I'm sitting or do something just to comfort, hopefully to comfort her.
Yes.
So I had that thought during,
Yes.
After reading it.
Yes. Then everything becomes the medicine, isn't it? When we are that, when we have opened the heart mind to that, then again, whether it's making somebody their favorite bologna sandwich without judgment, but bologna's bad for you. This used to be, that was my own spiritual arrogance early in my practice. This isn't good for you. So who am I? Right. I got to tell you it's not good for you and fix you from this thing. This is some confusion, deep confusion. And so couldn't you recite the rosary? Yes, you could. Do you have to believe that prayer? No, you don't. Could you say it wholeheartedly for the other? Absolutely. As I did for my grandmother in her mass. I was the one who recited the rosary. And by the way, everyone said, I've never heard the rosary like that. And I know why, because every word I spoke, I said with my whole heart. Right? And doesn't it matter? Well, what would matter more than that? Right. And so we're going to get bigger again, aren't we? We're not going to, in working with the death and dying, we're not going to go, and now I've got to read the Tibetan book. Well, now I've got to, what? You're going to do exactly your giftedness, your kindness, your goodness, right? And then what says the whole book? You better start practicing that now.
Mm.
Don't wait till someone's dying.
Mhm.
You do it now. Recite the rosary now. Read the prayer with them now. Go to mass with them now, virtual or real. Right, is exactly right, Lynn. And that's the whole point of
Mhm.
this book. But from my point of view, that's the whole point. I'm going to read other people's thoughts about this. The prayer is unifying. I agree. I think it's beautiful. We get out of tradition and out of yours and mine, and we say this, but not that. And who's the we? The we is us all. Anyway, so Megan says, nourishing. I like the blending. Yes, I love sitting in church and meditating as well. Megan, I do it regularly at Questhaven. I also participate in their pantheistic dance on Thursday when I'm in practice there. I join them. Why do I join them? We are not separate. We are not separate. I hear the music, I go up and I do it with them. And we include each other in those practices. The prayer felt familiar. Of course it does. It was recited once in schools, yes, until separation became more of an issue. The prayer, personal choice, including how, why, and if we do it. Yes, I think that prayer, words alone are not sufficient. Words alone, words without meaning, words without wholeheartedness, right, are simply sound. Right? They're not, let's not bother, because there's plenty of sound already. And then prayer, even not spoken, but just thought, then has amazing meaning, right? We didn't even say it out loud, although I like and the research, by the way, says that saying something out loud manifests, makes more real. And so this prayer out loud, we could have all read that prayer silently, and it doesn't mean it wouldn't have impact, but I think there is something about putting it into a real sense experience. Robin says, brought me to tears. Me too. I was very surprised to find, grew up with it and have not said it in decades. Perhaps Patricia's passing brought me back suddenly to my own mother's at a similar age and the comfort she found at that time with a wonderful hospice chaplain who was able to speak with her about her Christian beliefs and also with me about my Buddhist ones, honored us both and our own traditions. Yes, how beautiful, and proved very important. How lovely, Robin. Thank you. Isn't it true? And aren't we all looking for the truth? Yes. Aren't we all looking for the truth of what then? Interconnectedness, interbeing, oneness, non-separation, and the good and basic heart that we all possess. I have to work on this because I don't always see that good heart in another, and I don't always see it in myself. And then I look, what is obstructing? What is it obstructing the truth of this? And it's usually somewhat old core belief that somehow I'm not enough, or that's not enough, or they're not enough, or if only it was some other thing, it'd be easier or better. It'd certainly be more my way. That we'd have going on. And so I did the underlining in my phone, and I thought it would make it here, and it didn't. So there's a very few things here to pick up on. So I don't think it'll take us long. So in the conclusion, she talks about Ishi, who was a man who appeared suddenly, and really a couple things about him. One, his own purity, I think, was so striking, and his own openness was also so striking. And he was studied then, I think, at Berkeley. And there was some like, what have we lost then? If this guy who's so primitive, really an indigenous, he was a part of an indigenous tribe. Where is our own purity? Where is our own goodness? It was so evident in this person, and so perceivedly not evident in all the rest of us running around getting things accomplished. And they go on to talk about the way he was open and how he got on the train, even with believing his own belief system was the train would eat him, actually, in a time. And it was a very lovely story. There's a whole book written about him from that, his Yahi tribe. And I think he was the last of that tribe. That tribe is no longer. Like many spiritual traditions, Buddhism originated from the universal human need to make a relationship with death. I wouldn't have said that. I would have said relationship with life. And then, yes, also, and including death. But I would not have said relationship with death. Though I do think the Eastern traditions cultivated a consciousness factor, not only in living, but also in death, that I think is slightly unique. Most of the Christian Judaic traditions have a different idea about that, which is you're kind of gone. And then they don't talk about consciousness as much as they might talk about heaven or something else. I think that's just another form of consciousness, actually. I think the languaging is just what's different. So I don't think the ideas are actually so different. Thich Nhat Hanh himself called collective consciousness the kingdom of heaven. I always love that. The kingdom of heaven. How beautiful. He was like, there's no distinctions here. We can call these by their true names. And I have always loved him and loved that non-separating aspect of him. Like many spiritual traditions, Buddhism originated from the universal need to form relationship. I would say that's to all of life then. Let me see. I don't see anything else that they talk some more about Ishi. The last paragraph I thought was where the most meat actually was. And it says here, I believe the most important factor in preparing for death is to remember that how we live is how we die. If we learn to embrace impermanence, to work with our own struggles, that's the kleshas, our habits, to recognize the true sky-like nature of our mind and then the mind of all beings, and to open ourselves wider and wider to experiences of life, we'll be learning both how to live and how to die. If we develop a passion to learn about the groundless, unpredictable, unfathomable nature of our world and our mind, that will enable us to face our death and live our lives, certainly, with more curiosity and less fear. So that was the conclusion. What happens then is the history goes on in the appendix. And I did some of the practices here in Appendix B. I did the Tonglen practice, the out-breath practice, the resting in the open space. And those are all written here for those of you who might be interested in those. And then the dissolution chart, those kinds of things are available. Okay. Any thoughts about this as we end this book? We took a long time with the book because I didn't see anywhere else I thought we needed to go before spring. This is probably coming at a good time because we'll be getting ready near the end of March. We'll be having our Mindful All Day. Again, there is going to be a link coming out probably today, for sure tonight, You have to sign up right away because we need to know if we have 12 people for that day. I believe we will. I'm going to say we likely will. So please sign up if you're going to be half or whole day. That's Saturday, the 30th of March, the day before Easter. We will be not at Quest Haven, but at Pete's Geodome. Beautiful space. I would love to see you all there. And I'm looking for about 12 people, and I don't see that as any difficulty at all. You will not be able to sign up yet. I have to go to the website and correct the dates on that, and that will also happen by this evening. It is $35. I don't have Carrie here, but I think it is. I think it's $35 still for the half day and $50 for the full day. I don't think that has been changed. We've kept those prices since we began. We might need to look at them eventually because Quest Haven has changed their pricing, but Pete does this also by Donna. He offers us that space for whatever we want to give him, which is very, very lovely. Any questions about that all day, just as one start there? Everybody, you get directions. We don't have any problems. It is not a silent day. It is guided. Guided both in the morning, then there's mindful eating lunch, and then afternoon practice, and we end around 4 o'clock. So that would be that day. Yes.
I think we're fortunate that he is, offering his dome, for this. We're so fortunate.
Yes, we are. Very, very much so. He has invested a lot, he and Lisa, in making that available to us. And I feel very, very grateful and blessed that he is opening that space to us. Quest Haven did not have any space for us until we are there. So I'll tell you about the second retreat. I will be in retreat with Pete at the Geodome. So he's even extending it beyond our community. I'll be staying in his RV and sitting in the Geodome every day for a week from the 22nd of April until the 28th of April. You will be able to come and silently sit with me. I will not be guiding. I'm in personal retreat. I'll be sitting there every day from 6 in the morning till 8 at night. And we will give little windows, 9 to 11:30, 2 to 4:30 windows when you can join us during that time, but we'll all be silent. We're there supporting each other silently. And so I'll be there that week. I'll be somewhere else for a second week. And then the third week in May, that's May 5th or 6th, I think it's 5th is a Monday, through the 11th. And we will have a full-on residential and commuter retreat the 9th, 10th, and 11th. I will be guiding there. I will be guiding. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, May, not March, 9, 10, 11. And the 11th is the day before Mother's Day. So just check into that. And there is a dorm space up at Quest Haven. It's beautiful there. And Quest Haven is asking for a 2-night minimum commitment, not one. So we cannot stay for 1 night. Now, we might be able to talk Danielle into that, but not so far. So far, she really wants the 2 days commitment. It's expensive for them to be bringing people in to clean in one overnight. So it's her preference that we stay for 2. It is fairly inexpensive. I think it's like $65 or something. So actually, if you can create space for that, would be a real opportunity. And we will not do another retreat then until October. We do a spring and a fall retreat. So just know all that's coming. I will remind everyone about that. But the very first thing that we'll be signing up for are two things: the St. Andrews contributions, so we can go buy food on the 12th, and then signing up for March 30th. That will be the second link. And then remembering, please, to bring any clothing or hygiene items during our Saturday sanghas here, or dropping them off to me here for Showers of Blessings, who are looking for clothing for their unsheltered participants. And if we can do that, I will be dropping that clothing and hygiene items off on the 16th of March. So we got a lot going on for us all. And remember to be looking for your book, Why We Meditate. That will be starting, not likely in the summer. I'm feeling like with all our movement, that may not be right timing. So any questions? Anybody have any thoughts or questions about all this? We got a lot going on. It's all good. It can get confusing, I think. I think that can be a little challenging. I feel like, what day? Is it March or May? Yeah. So we'll keep putting out calendars for you, and also get the website updated so that you feel like you know what's going on a little bit. The good news is opportunities for practice every moment. Will there be the weekly meditations? Yes. The board, EMC board, will be continuing to offer practice while I am in retreat for that lengthy period this year. And it may be silent, it may be a poem, and then we will also offer to Sangha. If somebody would like to come on, ring the bell and read a poem and sit on a Tuesday, we'd love to have you. And so we'll be, as we get closer, be getting a schedule out for that as well. But anybody who'd like to do that, we'd love to have you participate also. Everyone here is a teacher, right? Everyone here is a student. And if we get confused and think otherwise, that's the problems, right?
Even Al, you know.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! We love you, Al. We love you.
We do love you. There's no doubt. Well, why don't we just sit in that love for a minute? Now I got little man, got Al, got everything going on here. Let's just sit together for a moment. And let's bring that sense of spaciousness, that infinite nature back to mind. Rest in it. And I use the first several out breaths always as, I call it dissolve. It's like a solvent dissolving. And I used to picture myself like a big block of salt being immersed in a warm water. And as Trungpa says, place light attention on the out breath and then keep going. We unclutter the mind by letting the thoughts simply come and go. We unclutter the heart by breathing into it, creating space and room and warmth. And then sending it out beyond the body. Oh, precious awakened heart mind. May you arise where you have not yet come to be. And where you have arisen, may you never diminish, but grow and flourish evermore and more. I'm once again striking the bell to end. Bowing to the goodness, to the reality of you. Thank you all so much for being with us these many weeks. Megan, will you once again write your email to me? I've gotten it wrong somehow because I've sent you something and it came back saying that it was incorrect. And so I'm either spelling your name incorrectly, but I had peerformancelabs.com and I clearly messed something up. Oh, I prefer. Okay, there's the I. I didn't get that would explain it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've got it. All right, everyone, be well. Have a beautiful day. Change the world. Change the world. Be well. See you this Saturday in the garden.